Hello guys, in this video we are going to solve the problem 387 Suma Divizorilor Impari. In my previous video for the problem 376 I already explained how to find the divisors and what's square root and why do we go until the square root of the number. I'm not going to run through it one more time in this video, just please watch this video for the problem 376. So now let's solve the problem. It says that we are given number n and we must find the sum of odd divisors of the number. So the odd divisors are 1, 3, 5 and 15, and when you add them up you get 24. So let's include IO stream. Then we must also include CMath because I know that I will have to use the square root, and then you want to write using namespace std. I'm going to create a variable n, and then I'm going to read my variable n, and I will need a variable to store the square root of the number, and I will read a variable to store the sum of the number, but at the beginning you want to set the sum to 0. After reading the number, I want to find the square root of the number. I say that sq is equal to the square root of my number n. And now you want to create a loop that where I starts from 1 and it goes until the square root of the number, and every time it increases. And now here it will go through all the numbers from I until the square root. I want to check if my number n is divisible by I. If it's divisible, I want to check also if my I is odd number, and also I want to check if I is the square root of my number, because if I is the square root of the number you don't want to add it 2 times, because you know in the previous example we added the number and the pair of the number. So in this case I want to calculate it only once. That's why in this case you want to say sum is equal to sum plus I. Else if it's not the square root, but if it's only divisible by, if n is only divisible by I, so in this case there may be a situation where I is odd but its pair is not odd, or vice versa. That's why I'm not checking if it is even here, because maybe its pair is not odd. That's why for now I will only check if n is divisible by I. So if it is, I want to check if I is actually an odd number. If I is odd number, then I will add it to my sum. I want to also check if n divided by I, the pair of number I, is also an odd number. If it is odd number, you want to add also that number to your sum. And pay attention that here if and this if are 2 separate ifs. I don't want to put here else, because if this is true it will never work. I want to check them separately. That's why these are 2 different if cases. And after finishing your loop, outside of the loop you want to print the value of your variable sum. Now let's submit our code. That's it guys. Have a nice day.